Thank you for listening on a Monday. Excited to have Brent Baker join us in the studio right now for a Sioux Falls real estate update. Brent Baker is with Clients First Group and Keller Williams in Sioux Falls. Hello, how are you?
I am terrific today.
I'm excited to visit with you. We're going to talk about, this is the fun word, refinancing. And this is one of those things that there are probably some people listening right now that are going, boy, I can't wait till the time is right for me to do that. But refinancing a mortgage, and it's not always the right time, but when is the right time? We're going to talk a little bit about that. And this is something that we're kind of seeing some people plan for right now, aren't we?
We really are. It wasn't very long ago when rates were down in that 4% range, and you just think, wow, we're in heaven.
Yeah.
But now rates are back to historical norms.
Yeah.
And I know people are shocked by that heavens, 7% is normal?
Yeah.
Well, yes, it is.
Yeah.
When is the right time? Well, that's going to vary a little bit by individual. For some people, it will never be right because if your mortgage is down to some level, you don't get enough benefit out of refinancing.
Yeah.
You're not that far from payoff. Because the cost associated with it just will not be worth it. There won't be a return there. But for a lot of people, it's probably, at the current rates, probably somewhere between 1% and 2%, depending on their scenario, when it would be beneficial to sit down with a loan officer and inquire about a refi.
So if the interest rate is 1 or 2% lower than where they currently are locked in?
Correct.
Nice. And I suppose also if somebody has an adjustable rate mortgage that they know is going to be adjusting sometime, and if they kind of have an idea that, hey, it's going to be adjusting, they never seem to adjust down, do they?
That was going to be my point, is there's a reason they're called ARMs. And, typically they go up. And
So if you know that you have this mortgage that right now is okay, but eventually it's not going to, that's also probably a good time to start thinking, hey, let's just kind of see what's out there and let's start, getting pre-qualified and whatever we need to do.
Correct, because once that thing resets, you can't change it.
Yeah.
So why not go out now, start interviewing a couple of different institutions and see who's got a program that makes sense, because you know when it's going to adjust.
Yeah.
And the odds of it going up are higher than going down. And people are all living in this shell thinking, oh, it's going to go down. It's going to go down because it's high. It's not even close to historical highs.
Yeah.
You got to add 10 points to it, 10%, to get toward historical highs. So do yourself a favor.
Yeah. And so what are some of the things that we should chat about here? Like when to refinance or when to think about it? Because you probably don't want to wait till the last second on that.
Correct. Because in some ways it's like getting your regular mortgage.
Yeah.
They still have to go through certain steps. They're going to appraise the house. They're going to do the checks to make sure that there's no liens and judgments against you or the property. What you're simply doing is replacing one mortgage with another.
And what are some of the common types of mortgages that people are getting when they're refinancing a mortgage? Is it the same type of mortgage that they had to start with, or are they getting something different usually?
It varies. Everybody has a different reason. So one is just simply to get a lower rate, better terms. If you're a Dave Ramsey fan, he advocates very strongly for a 15%, or a 15-year mortgage.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you can, with a 20% down, so you avoid that private mortgage insurance, which adds significant dollars to your monthly payment. So for some people, it is to refi out of a longer-term mortgage, or maybe to get a better rate in terms and save money that way, or just pay off sooner. Why wouldn't you want it paid off sooner so you can start using that money to invest?
Absolutely. Now, there's also something called cash out refinancing. What does that mean?
Some people will want to use the equity in their home and pull that money out, and say they have a debt of some sort and they need to get that paid off, or maybe it's
paying off a car, a credit loan, student loan, some other thing that they get rid of another payment.
Correct. And so a lot of times it's referred to as debt consolidation. They're trying to pull all that equity, take that cash, and pay down those debts. Now, the important thing is as Dave Ramsey would tell you, but also modify your behavior so you don't incur that debt again. Otherwise, you're just replacing debt with debt.
And then you end up with 2 giant payments.
Exactly.
Now, there's another one called cash-in financing. What does that mean?
So something that we rarely hear about or talk about, but cash-in financing allows you to pay down a portion of your current loan, giving you lower payments. So say you get a big bonus. You were top salesman of the year, so they gave you $25,000.
I'm the only salesman, and I'm still not the top salesman.
You might want to talk to management about your job.
But I'm also the manager. We have horrible management. And then let's talk about this one here is talking about the bottom line. So what is the bottom line when it comes to refinancing?
Well, it really comes down to what do you hope to gain? What do you think you will gain by going through a refinance?
Yeah.
So it should be a strategic move, and under the right conditions, it will be. It's also really important to remember the key factors. It's the rate, the closing costs. It's not just simply going in and signing a piece of paper and suddenly you have a lower rate. There are
a lot of things to consider.
And a good mortgage loan officer is going to be transparent about that and explain it to you.
And there's a big difference between a good mortgage loan officer and a not so good.
Yeah.
So there is a difference. And Brent, if somebody's looking for a good realtor, I always send them your direction because I love you. I think you're a great guy. If they would like to connect with you, whether it's a mortgage question, if they want to sell a home, buy a home, how do they get a hold of you, Brent?
I can be found at 605-310-0297.
Very nice. Again, Brent Baker with Clients First Group and Keller Williams. You can find him online at clientsfirstgroup.com. And again, if you're hearing this on the radio and you're just catching the tail end of it, you can catch the entire program online as a podcast at SiouxFallsPodcast.com.